Hello kids, you're welcome to class. As you all know, the concept we normally use in solving a question in quantitative reasoning, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, taking square root of numbers as well as squaring numbers. Here we have in example number 1 a rectangle consisting of 4 numbers which are 18, 2, 4 and 4. Now assuming the 18 here is not given, this 18, assuming it was not given, how do we go about it? How do we get the 18? What we just simply do is to multiply this 4 times this 4, then we add 2 to it. Now let's go to our board for explanation. We have it as, to get our 18, we simply multiply 4 times 4, which is equal to 16. Then 16 plus 2 is equal to 18. Guess that is clear. Now, assuming 2 was not given to us, assuming this 2 was not given to us, how do we get our 2? It's simply 4 times this 4. Then we will now have to subtract, we now have it as 18 minus 16. Now let's go to our board for explanation. We have it as 4 times 4, and 4 times 4 give us 16. Then 18 minus 16 is equal to 2. Guess that's clear. Now, assuming any of these 4 is not given, any of the two 4, assuming we weren't given, how do we go about getting our 4? What we simply do is to first of all subtract 2. These 2, we need to subtract these 2 from 18. We take away 2 from 18, of which will be left with 16. Then the 16 divided by any of these 4 will give us 4. Let's go to our board for explanation. Now, we have it as 18 minus 2. 18 minus 2 is equal to 16. And 16 divided by 4 is equal to 4. That's how the 4 was gotten. And that is said to be used for any of the 4 which is at the base. That leads us straight to example number 2. Example number 2 here, we have a rectangle divided into 6 compartments. On the left hand side we have 49, 36 and 25, and on the right hand side we have 7, 6 and 5. Now here the concept used here is the squaring of numbers as well as taking square root of numbers. Now in this situation, assuming 49 was not given to us, how do we get our 49? What we simply do is to square 7. This is it, something of this nature. You just square it, raised to power 2. And the 7 square here means 7 times 7, which will give us the 49 on the left hand side. Let's go to our board for explanation. This is simply, assuming our 49 was not given, we have it. For us to get our 49, we easily have it as to get our 49, we have it as 7 square, which is equal to 7 times 7, and 7 times 7 is equal to 49. So that's how the 49 was gotten. Now, assuming this 7 was not given to us, how do we get the 7 when 49 is being given to us? What we simply do is to take square root of 49, which is this. You just take square root of 49, and the square root of 49, something of this nature, square root of 49, and square root of 49 is equal to 7. Same applies to 36. Same thing applies to 36. Assuming 36 was not given to us. Assuming 36 was not given to us, and 6, we know the value, we have our 6 here. What do? We just have to square 6. That is to say, something of this nature, we square 6, which is 6 times 6 will give us 36. Let's go to our chalkboard for explanation. Assuming 36 was not given to us, this is what we do. We just have it as square of 6, which is equal to 6 times 6, and 6 times 6 is equal to 36. What about when 36 is given to us but 6 was not given to us? It's just for us to take the square root of 36, which is like this. Take square root of 36, and square root of 36 is equal to 6. That leads us to our chalkboard for explanation. Assuming 36 was given to us but 6 was not given, we just take the square root of 36, square root of 36, which is equal to 6. Same applies to the last one. Same applies to 5 and 25. I guess the class is well understood. This is going to lead us straight to example number 3. Now, we have a form of L shape facing the left hand side here, comprising of 3 numbers, which is 18, 5, and 45. How do we get this? There is an imaginary 2 in this question, which in some case we're going to be using it to multiply, and in the other case we'll be using it to divide, so as to be able to get these 3 numbers. Now, in this question, assuming 45 was not given to us, which is the number at the top, 45. Assuming this 45 was not given to us, what do? It's just for us to divide 18 by 2, the imaginary 2. Dividing 18 by 2 will give us 9. Then 9 times just 5 will give us 45. Let's go to our chalkboard for explanation. This is simply assuming 45 was not given to us, you have it as 18 divided by 2, which gives us 9. Then 9 times 5 is equal to 45. So that's how we got the 45, which is on the top. Now, assuming 18 was not given to us, how do we get our 18? Assuming this 18 was not given to us, how do we get our 18? What we simply do is to divide 45 by 5. Dividing 45 by 5 will give us 9. Then 9 times the imaginary 2 will give us 18. Now, let's go to the chalkboard for explanation. We have it when, assuming 18 was not given to us, we have it as 45 divided by 5. 45 divided by 5 gives us 9. Then 9 times the imaginary 2 gives us 18. And lastly, assuming 5 was not given to us. Assuming 5 was not given to us, what do? What we simply do is to divide 18 by the imaginary 2. And dividing 18 by the imaginary 2 will give us 9. Then we now have it as 45 divided by the 9, which was the answer that was gotten, will give us 5. Now let's go to the chalkboard for explanation. Assuming 5 was not given to us, what we simply do is to say 18 divided by 2, and 18 divided by 2 is equal to 9. Then the 45 in our question divided by 9 that was gotten. 45 divided by 9 is equal to 5. Yeah, that's the end of today's lesson. I guess you enjoyed the class. All right. Hope to see your outstanding performance in the quiz as well as the assignment. Do have a lovely day. Bye.